Hello everyone, we have a bit more information today on the Engels airbase attack and the attack on Dyagilevo airbase as well, starting with this satellite image which you can see. This satellite image was sent by Sour Vodka on the Discord server and captures the aftermath of the strike at Dyagilevo. As you can see, there's clear charring and signs of damage towards the rear left-hand side of a Tu-141 bomber. The bomber, you may notice, is in a sort of defensive position with protection on either side of it. Perhaps that's why the decision was made to target the rear of the aircraft to avoid these sort of defensive berms. As well as this satellite image, we have a few images from the scene as well. Now the red liquid at the bottom is leaked coolant fluid, but as you can see, this Tu-141 will be out of action for a while. There's notable damage to the tail wings as well as to the exhausts. Also caught up in it is which has been said to be a fuel tanker, but is actually an APA-80 engine starting vehicle, so quite an interesting one there. Now Russia initially said that this was a fuel tank accident, but has since admitted that the base was attacked. This photo here, you can see a rather large pile of tyres just behind the aircraft. I'm not sure if this is solely the worn ones from this specific aircraft or from the whole base, but Russia is certainly getting through them. We can also see the rear machine gun turret, useless in this day and age. These are in the process of being removed and replaced with more useful electronic warfare equipment. We can also see the tail fin and the ID number, so this is Tu-142M RF34110. Now, you may remember a bit of a rumour from yesterday that an airbase called Shaykovka was also attacked. There's since been no confirmation beyond that rumour. Well, RF34110 is typically based at Shaykovka, so I wonder if that's how that rumour began. Reports that the damaged aircraft was RF34110, someone finding out that that's typically based at Shaykovka, got the wrong end of the stick, and assumed that that airbase was hit too. Also interesting to note, this Tu-142M was loaded with a Kh-22 missile when hit, so this strike prevented that from launching. Now there is a bit of a curiosity with the satellite image. If we turn back to that, we can see the blast zone to the left hand side, but there's a lot of damage to the right hand side too. I will look at where Dyagilevo is later. For now, let's turn to Engels. So we have some satellite images here from the 3rd and the 4th of December. These are not from today and not after the strike. A few Twitter pages are sharing them as being from today, but they aren't. They're from the 3rd and the 4th. We can see 29 aircraft at the base here, not including the group near the bottom right, which are part of a museum. So a big number of targets. These are Tu-95 and Tu-160 bombers. In this zoomed in image, we can see a pair of Tu-160 blackjacks and 3 Tu-95 bears. The black markings are normal, appearing on many active airfields and aren't signs of damage. Now we do have one satellite image from the aftermath, this one here, but it isn't high quality. The uploader highlighted a possible 12 Tu-95 bears, 5 Tu-160s, and a Il-76 transporter, plus 5 aircraft taxiing. There's no sign of damage really on this photo, but again, it's very poor quality. Russian media said that 2 bears were damaged, so I hope we get some photos from the scene or a clearer satellite image soon. Now this is quite interesting. The video which showed the impact on the base was geolocated by a viewer of the channel, Decibel Doctor, to be here. The camera pointing towards the base, which is east. Mailroom Cat on the Discord server did some clever mathematics and calculated, using the impact time to the sound of a blast, that it occurred approximately 5 kilometers away. Using that info, we can check roughly where on the base was hit, which puts it approximately here, towards the eastern side of the base. Now this won't be the precise exact spot, but give and take, I would say the impact was somewhere inside this blue square approximately. Zoomed in, and I hope this shows up okay on YouTube, the rightmost plane is a Tu-160. Next to it are 2 inactive bears. One of these is partially disassembled and looks like it's being used to repair the other. If it was these that were hit, I think Russia would have said so, bragging that the only damage was caused to 2 bears which weren't active anyway. So I think the impact possibly occurred roughly here, marked by the cross. Reports say that 2 bears were hit, so I think it would have landed somewhere in between them. Now, this is interesting. Back to the image from the 5th. The area, now highlighted in light blue, is where it appears to be hit. And as we can see here, it's showing, according to the uploader, 5 Tu-160s and 1 Tu-95 in this area. I think there is a bit of a mistake with the ID here, as the aircraft next to the partially dismantled bear is a Tu-95-2 which is being repaired. But the other IDs of the aircraft in this section do look to be accurate and correct. Could this actually have impacted Tu-160s instead of bears? I trust the geolocation, it's correct, and I also trust the work on the timings is accurate as well. So it is 5 kilometers from the geolocation area where it was filmed to the area. So I do think it accurate that the impact was in the highlighted area. And all that is here is 2 inactive Tu-95s and then 2 160s. Now it's possible that the damaged airframes have already been quickly carted away into a hangar and out of the way. Definitely a possibility. Or it could be that the 2 160s were actually hit, not bears as originally reported. If so, that's pretty interesting. But again, we're going to have to wait for more photos from the scene or clearer satellite images to be sure. But looking at this image, the likely impact zone is in an area where 2 160s are. But it could be that it was the 2 inactive bears that were hit. We can't rule that out. But I definitely would have thought that Russia would have quickly issued a statement that the only 2 casualties were inactive bears undergoing maintenance and weren't active. Russia would have bragged about that. But so again, we're going to have to wait for more photos or more info. We have another update, the platform used. This was the cause of much discussion, with theories ranging from Ukraine strike drone, which were tested with a 1,000 kilometer range, to Storm Shadow, rumoured to have been adapted for use from Su-24s, or, to be exact, rumoured to be undergoing adaptation to Su-24s. Well, it's now looking like it was this, a Tu-141 drone. This is an old Soviet-era recon drone, and its range of 1,000 kilometers does fit. Ukraine has used these, loaded with explosives in the past, so it is a possibility. But this drone is quite old and quite unreliable. One crashed into Croatia earlier on. Another pair of Ukrainian ones were intercepted near Kursk base back in July. It could be that a pair finally did get through, but we just have Russia's word that it was the Tu-141. It could be a drone resembling it, or, here's a possible idea, Ukraine's new strike drone which we've been testing could even be using the Tu-141 as a basis, basically using the Tu-141 shell and body and reloading it with new equipment and ammunition packages and guidance equipment, and basically upgrading and modifying it to create a pretty valid type of strike drone. If that's the case, then it's pretty interesting, and it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen Ukraine reusing old equipment. We've seen Ukraine recycle Grad 2s to make improvised rocket launchers, and they've also converted the S-125 SAM launcher into an anti-ship system. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine has upgraded and modified and enhanced these Tu-141 drones to make them a much more capable system to carry out strikes like this. Now, here is the location of the base. Engels is near Saratov. Dyagilevo is near Ryazan. These are the furthest targets that Ukraine has hit so far, creeping closer and closer towards Moscow, which, yes, the Tu-141 can hit. Before we finish, a few numbers. Russia has 66 Tu-22Ms in service, 42 Tu-95 Bears and 15 Tu-160 Blackjacks. Now, a shout out to some Patreons. Big thanks to Jack, Adam, James, Robert, Sour Vodka, Kevin and Chris. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it a lot. Hope you all have a great day. And finally, a spammer appeared in a few comments offering links to a Telegram page. That isn't me. He's since been blocked, and the only links that are actually mine will be in the description or in a pinned comment. Anyone posting a reply to you sending an outside link won't be me. If I see any, I will of course remove them. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and take care everyone.